What's that?
Is this stock?
No, it's Procharged.
It's Procharged?
Yeah.
Let me hear you rip it. Let me hear you rip it.
Okay.
Hold on, let me record it.
Ready? So everyone, this is my 2003 Procharged Mustang Mach 1. You know, it's been a dream car of mine for a long time. Funny story with this car and why I kind of fell in love with the new edge, design of Mustangs. When I was a kid, I used to go over to my childhood friend of mine's house and we used to toss the ball around playing baseball. Sometimes his dad would come out through the garage door, and when he opened the garage door, the ass end of a car like this, it could have been a GT, Cobra. I don't think it was a Mach 1, but it was black, and I always saw the rear end of the bumper. And ever since, I used to see it in the garage, I always dreamt of getting a car like this. It was just such a beautiful car. I remember in the early 2000s, just seeing it on the road, it just looked so menacing, and it was a really cool car of the time, right? Now, the Mach 1, for me personally, I like a little bit more than, all the other ones, trim-wise, is, I find it's a little bit more rare. I mean, this is an Oxford White. I love the shaker hood. The shaker hood, to me, is just such a cool aspect to, the old-style Mach 1s when they first came out. And it's Procharged, so it's got a really interesting, sound to the car. And since I am an aviation geek in a way, I like the name that it's, Mach 1, so testament to some aviation stuff. And then it sounds like a fighter jet too. And also my clan tag on PS4's Maverick, so it's kind of like a Mach 1 Maverick thing for me. I know it's kind of funny, but all these little weird quirks and stuff like that. Now this one here is not stock by any means. It's got upgraded AFS wheels, 9 in the front inch, 10.5 inch in the rear. Really awesome wheels. I love them so much. I think they make the car look a lot more cooler. I mean, these are kind of like the originals. They just kind of made them a little bit more, I would say, cooler. We got Toyo R888s on the rears, which are fantastic tire. I mean, they are pricey, but I think they're the best tire you can get, honestly, when you want to really get the ass end out sometimes. But they've got a lot of grip, so I love that. This has got also an upgrade sticker here on the side. So, you can see over here, this is more solid. So for the Mach 1s, originally, they kind of fade out in the back. But, I honestly love this car. And then obviously, here's a side profile of it. So let's go take a look at the front. I'll show you what's going on in the front. And then also, we'll take a look underneath the hood. So at the front here, if you're a Mach 1 fan or a New Edge Mustang fan, this is a different bumper. So this is an 01 Cobra generation bumper, not the Terminator bumper. I think this should have been on the Mach 1 instead of the just regular GT bumper. I don't think it looks as good. I think this one looks a lot better. Fog lights there. These are aftermarket headlights. They've got, kind of a clear amber light here, so I think they look a lot better. We've got a different grille here, so we've got a grille delete, with black insert here. We've got the black Mustang logo there. Honestly, the front end of this car, I mean, I don't have a plate. I think plates just ruin cars in general at the front, especially, I mean, this is not a Ferrari, but I think just having to drill into the front bumper just always looks like crap. But yeah, and we got a different chin spoiler here too. So, I think the front end of these cars are really cool. I mean, obviously we'll get into the engine bay, but we've got the shaker hood, which really sells, I think, any person who buys this car, because the shaker hood alone just looks absolutely incredible. You got the insert there in the hood too. And you can also get, I've seen some people get a little bit of, a raise in the hood scoop. You can actually raise it to make it stick out more. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much overall here at the front. Let's take a look underneath the hood here. So like I said, this is underneath the hood here. We've got obviously the pride and joy there of the Procharger. So it's a P1SC Procharger. We've got the intake here. I had to put a new cone filter on because the other one was actually getting really gross. The one thing I love, I didn't do the work here, I will have to say. The car was owned by a collector, a decade ago, and he barely drove it. But what they did was they painted the valve covers here, which I love on both sides, and they put these chrome pieces here, Ford Racing, which I think looks so cool, especially with, the car being Oxford white in general. I think it's awesome. Updated coolant reservoir there, which I think looks cool. They did a lot of great things, when they upgraded the car, right? We've got Maximum Motorsports camber here as well, a little bit. It's got H&R lowering springs too, Ford aluminum racing drive shaft, 410 gears as well. The car was dynoed to about 450 to the wheel. There's no, to my knowledge, internal workings done. I think 450 to 500 to the wheel is probably the most you would get on a stock bottom end on this car, just because the only thing that's forged is the crank. And the Cobra had forged internal, so you can run a crap ton of more power in that car, right? Where this car, you got to do a lot more motor work, which, I'm not opposed to doing, but I think also it takes away from just the 4.6 that's here. This one also has the person who did this was gotten rid of the kind of hood stick here. So they've upgraded to, more struts that actually just hold up the hood itself, which I think is a lot cooler, because if you do bring this to car shows, it's nice that you don't have a freaking stick here. So, that's really underneath the hood here. I changed the antenna. I hate having these freaking long antennas there. I got a smaller one there. One other thing that's been changed too are the mirrors. So the mirrors are actually Cobra mirrors. Mach 1s have different mirrors. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Let's take a look at the interior, and I'll show you kind of how clean that is. So this is the inside of the car, and it's, like I said, it's barely been driven. It's got 23,000 miles on it. We've got your gauges here, my boost gauge here, and then my fuel PSI there as well. Nothing else. I kind of want to update the steering wheel. I think the steering wheel is a little old, but like I said to you guys before, like I haven't even changed the radio in here. I don't even know if I will. It's just so kind of plain Jane that I love the fact that it's old and there's no really technology to it. One thing that I love is this shaker hood, like I mentioned to you before. Just seeing that when you drive, I think it's just awesome. You got your black decals there too. It's just a really cool car. And, I wish Ford with the new Mach 1, I wish they actually put that hood scoop there again. But unfortunately they didn't. The new Mach 1s are really cool, but I think they should have kept that in the car, on the exterior. So 5-speed manual, of course, right? Love it. 2 cup holders there. Not much room in here. I love the manual e-brake too. The new e-brake in the Ford Mustangs, it's electronic. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. The seats are actually in really good condition too. Back here, the seats, they've actually got a crap ton of dust on them because no one really sits back there. But overall, like I said, I think the interior is very plain Jane, and I love that fact. I think it's just really cool that, there's just no screen in there. I like, some digital displays, but the fact that it's just analog is, I think, what makes this car a little bit more cooler. So I'll show you guys the trunk. I think there's a cool thing that someone put on there on the previous ownership, and then I'll take you out for a ride. So one thing that I actually like about the back is, I like the Mach 1 badge, right? This license plate cover says Mach 1 on it too. We've got the Bassani exhaust tips too. Bassani, old school stuff, right? I love it. Again, I didn't put that on, but it helped sell the car to me, if you will. Ford badge here. No amber lights, guys, on this car, because everyone's asking the moon for them, and to be honest, I really don't care about them. We also got a nice kind of matte spoiler, and that's cool about the Mach 1s too. But like I was mentioning to you inside, someone put this Mach 1 kind of trunk part at the inside of it, and I think that's a really cool thing to have when you open up the trunk. It's like, oh, cool, there's a carpeted Mach 1 piece there, if you will. But overall, and the trunk space is pretty big, I do have to say. So, but that is my car, everyone. So let's take it out for a little POV drive, and we'll see what it drives. mean, the tires don't help since they're low profile and it also being lowered, but what are you gonna do? Trade-offs, right? Trying to miss those rocks there. Well, that's my 03 Procharged Mach 1, everybody. Hopefully you got to hear a decent amount of it on this POV Drive-ish. What's that?
Is it stock?
No, it's Procharged.
It's Procharged?
Yeah.
Let me hear you rip it. Let me hear you
Okay,
rip it.
okay, okay.
Hold on, let me record it.
Ready? That's awesome. Oh, wait, that's funny. It's Procharged. Oh, that's good. It's Procharged. Oh man, that's funny. His face just lit up. It's Procharged. That's amazing.